Hey guys, David with the Herald Group. We are back with Chapter 4 in the Introduction to Modern Real Estate Practices on aceable.com's Real Estate Education course. Let's get started.
Chapter 4, The Real Estate Market, Characteristics of Real Estate.
All right, Chapter 4. Chapter 4, lots of great information. This was about the characteristics of real estate, and that can mean a lot. But let's talk about physical and economic characteristics of real estate, and let's go over some of the definitions we learned. So, land. Seems like a pretty simple definition, but it's the actual piece of the earth, including anything below the surface of the land and the air above it, and it's defined as indestructible and immobile. You can't take land with you. It's where it is where it is. Real estate. So real estate and land often get used interchangeably, but real estate is made up of the land and any improvements that may be on it. Real property includes any improvements that have been added to that land, plus bundling up all the rights that come with the ownership. And personal property typically is identified by things that you can take with you. So let's say you buy a house and you go tour the house and the owner's furniture is there. Usually that furniture is not going to come with the sale of the home. That's their personal property and they'll be taking it with them. Let's talk about some economic characteristics. One of the biggest and most important is going to be the perceived value of the land real estate. And what the market says and what the owner thinks it's worth can often be different, but somewhere between what you want to pay for it and what they want to sell for it is the perceived value. Scarcity. Scarcity is the principle of supply and demand. They're not making any more land. But if you're looking at a piece of property in rural Indiana, you can probably find a lot of property. But if you're looking for 10 acres in rural Indiana or 10 acres in downtown Chicago, you're going to have a whole lot harder time finding that in downtown Chicago because it's much more scarce. Situs. They talked about the term situs quite a bit, and that's summed up in the term we've all heard of location, location, location. Economic significance of a property's location cannot be ignored, and if you're right next door to Disneyland, for example, your situs is pretty important. If you're right next to a rundown motel in the outskirts of town, that situs is not going to be as valuable, depending on what you want to do with it, obviously. And then by definition, land is not liquid. And unlike most personal property, you can take your personal property, sell it, you may not get what you want for it, but you can sell it. If you want to sell land or real estate, you have to find a buyer. That buyer is going to want to inspect the property. They're going to have to go get loans and things like that. It can take time. And if you want to sell something quickly, you may take a hit on its value. If you've got time and can go through a couple of potential buyers to get the best price, you can get that, but it doesn't make you very liquid. All right, that was the gist of Chapter 4, and now we're going to be moving on to real estate law. I'm excited to continue the journey.